This is the Business Storytelling Show, a top global marketing podcast listened to in more than 100 countries, live streamed on social media, and broadcast on DBTV. Christoph Trapp chats with industry leaders to help your company tell better business stories. Here's today's episode.
Hey, business storytellers. Let's talk about how do you monetize your blog. And you know what? We don't have to overthink it, but basically there's 5 different ways of how to do that. It comes down to advertising, affiliate marketing, sponsored posts, selling products, and also subscriptions. So not all of these ways work for every creator or every brand. And in fact, 4 of those really are not the way to go if you're a corporation that's trying to sell a product. So I'm going to start with that one. Um, Most corporate blogs make money because what they do is they get people to pay attention to the corporate website. And then guess what? People end up buying the product because now they're aware of the product. It's like typical marketing, right? Let's not overthink it. Let's not undervalue it. At the end of the day, and this is really the key step, key point for companies. So I'll go with that first, and then we'll dive into the other 4 points, which are really more for individual creators, if you identify as like a content creator type, like my blog, christophtrapp.com falls into that category. So if you're in B2B or any other kind of company, this first step is for you, and the others might not be as much for you necessarily. So, but how do companies do that? And the way they have to structure their blog really is to go after all the different things that their customers, their potential customers, search for. And that's informational search, that's transactional search. I know we all want the sale today. Send me all the money, send it on over, click on my Amazon store, buy all my stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't hate money. I love money. Send it to me. But at the end of the day, it's a journey. So keep that in mind. That's what a blog can help with, to get people top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, move them through the funnel and get them aware of your brand. The other thing that I think a lot of companies overlook, quite frankly, is when we look at a blog as the transaction. And a lot of times, what the blog posts do is they help the entire site rank high. They help the entire site show up in search when it matters. They help the entire site to drive results, even on product pages. I mean, Andy Crestodina has said this famously that, you know, even if your blog posts never actually um, drive actual leads, they can help the rest of the site get more authority and and actually rank when it matters for those transactional phases. So just something to keep in mind. It's not always a straight journey. It's not always as easy as, hey, I'm talking to you on the street and I'm saying, hey, you want to buy something from me? And yes, you do. Like, that's a very easy transaction, right? You can measure that very simply. That doesn't always work with a blog for companies. So just something to keep in mind how that works, but share content that's relevant and share content that your target audience actually searches for. Because at the end of the day, if they don't, you're not going to reach anybody, right? It's a total waste of time. So, like, for example, this whole episode, how to monetize a blog, 5 ways. What's interesting about that, I was looking at something else. I don't know what I was looking at. And I was wondering, I'm like, what do people search for when it comes to monetizing content? And people literally search for how to monetize a blog. So let's talk about it. Let's share my experience. Let's share what I have to say about it and kind of go from there. No reason not to. It's actually a topic I care very much about. I know a lot of people are struggling with it, and I know a lot of companies are struggling with it. So why not dive into that topic? And these are the 5 ways that I do. So this first one, as I mentioned, is really for companies, but it also for the creator. And the last 4 really are more for creators, I would say, than a company, even though companies could use them. Uh, a creator can use this first one by selling products. And there certainly is a ton of products that you can create, right? So, like, I'm not saying everybody's going to wear your t-shirt, but you could create t-shirts and sell them. There's plenty of ways to do it. You can do it on Amazon, merch.amazon.com. Super easy to sign up, super easy to create stuff. I created t-shirts and, it works. People sometimes buy them. I mean, it's not like a huge revenue stream, but you can do it. I also, I've written books. Is marketing a good career? And people buy the book. I'm probably not going to become a millionaire selling books, but at the end of the day, it's another piece that you can sell. And if you have a huge audience, there are all kinds of products you can think about that you might want to sell that make sense for you. And, for me, that's books, that's t-shirts, that's other things, those kind of things. And whatever other products you might have, just something to keep in mind, lots of options that you can have. So I'm a big fan of this idea. Check out this effect. Boom. That's because of the continuity camera I have set up here on my MacBook Pro. I'm a big fan of it. Boom. So that's really the first one that most everybody can use, including companies. And let's dive into the next four to talk about what really any creator can use. And before we do that, I want to share this quick message with you with one of my favorite AI software tools. Creating short video clips from your 30 or 60-minute podcast episode used to take a lot of time, but not anymore. You can now use Opus Clips and create those sound bites in no time. And I use Opus Clips all the time. Works great. And really, this is one of those things that creators can do. Affiliate marketing, right? Every link to a product, not every link, but a lot of links on my blog, christophtrapp.com, to products are affiliate links, and why not? Why wouldn't I do that? All the links to other products where I don't have an affiliate relationship with a specific company, I will put them to the Amazon version, right? And I also do affiliate marketing on Amazon. But like every time I talk about the Apple Watch on my website, right? I link to the Apple Watch on Amazon and people buy it. I mean, it does add up, right? I just saw that actually earlier today. There was a couple purchases of Apple Watches and it's like $16. It adds up. So just something to keep in mind. It's like the Amazon effect in return. You know what I'm talking about? You buy stuff at Amazon, it's like $10, $12, $20, whatever. Before you know, you got like a $3,000 credit card bill. This is the same thing, just the opposite, right? You sell a couple Apple Watches through your link and you made $16. Now, again, not a full-time job out of the gate and maybe never. Affiliate marketing is also very up and down. I'm going to be honest about that. Companies can change terms, right? Maybe the tracking isn't working. Now, there's some companies I work with, they're super transparent when it comes to affiliate marketing. They literally will tell you, oh, the tracking is currently off. Like there was a couple days, not recently, but maybe a couple years ago, where Amazon had said 0 purchases when the previous day it was like a few $100s. It's like, that can't be right. So then Amazon actually sent an email saying, hey, it's the tracking is off. We have to go back and fix it. So don't worry about it. Not the tracking is off. The reporting is off. So the tracking was good, but it wasn't reporting correctly to the creator. So that's not a good deal, of course. Where's my effect? I thought this was an effect. Maybe not. There you go. That's not a good thing for the creator, but once they fixed it, what really happened is when they fixed it, you still get the money after the fact. As you can see, I love these effects. I think they are pretty awesome. Thumbs up. Okay, we don't have to overdo it. So they're transparent, but then there's other companies, it's like, it's really hard to actually keep an eye on what's what and like, are people paying you on time and that kind of thing. So that's, again, diversify your affiliate marketing. And that's really the way to go. But at the end of the day, if you can get an affiliate link, if you want to talk about a company, just go to their website, see if they have an affiliate program. A lot of times you can sign up right then, or just search. Like some companies put it in the footer. But as I'm talking about AI tools, a lot of times, um, most AI companies, in my experience, have an affiliate program, and some are pretty generous. So like even Restream, this I'm using the software to stream or to record in this case today, and there's an affiliate program. So every time somebody signs up, I get some kickback from that. I think in the case of Restream, it might be $49 per sign up. So that's really nice, actually. But of course, the thing to keep in mind when it comes to affiliate marketing, it is a lot of work. You do have to draw in the right audience. So at the end of the day, if you don't have the reach that you need to make it a success, it's never going to work, right? Or it's going to take a while. There's some programs, I don't remember the name now, where you can sign up for a bunch of companies in the same platform. And what happens is you can sign up for like 4 or 5 maybe, and then you're locked until you make a sale in one of those for one of those companies. I guess that's a good idea. So you don't just sign up and sign up and sign up. On the other hand, it also might restrict you just a little bit, because what if those are just not the right products, right? What if the offer isn't good enough or whatever? Like, I mean, there's could be 100 different reasons. It might not have anything to do with you as the creator. There was somebody the other day, um, there's a TikTok creator, and they never ever talk about male hygiene or male grooming, I guess, right? Manscaped. And that's their affiliate link. Like, it's a completely unrelated thing. Now, I guess in that person's case, it might be okay, it might work, because their audience is so big that it's like running an ad in the newspaper, right? Like, or in the old days at least, the newspaper audience was so big. Guess what would happen? It would be um, somebody would be in the audience that actually would care about the product just because it's so big. So you can try that, but at the end of the day, most of us creators, even when we're mid-tier or whatever you want to call it, it needs to be kind of related to what you're doing. So when you look on christophtrapp.com, I even have it in the sidebar. I got a bunch of ads like B2B, website visitor, lead generation or lead identification, um, LinkedIn AI tools, those kind of things. And they're all related to storytelling. They're all related to business storytelling. So at the end of the day, I'm not hawking Manscaped, even though I'm a Manscaped customer, but it doesn't relate to my content creation on the web. So it's just something to keep in mind on how you want to do that. But affiliate marketing does work when you do it well and when you can build your audience, but it is a slow climb. So just keep that in mind. And then, of course, diversify, because terms change, payouts change, audience interest changes, all those different things. So just keep that in mind. The next one, advertising. And this is an interesting one because I grew up in the journalism world, and that's how journalism used to be paid. And our journalism used to be financed, and then companies started doing advertising online, and media companies found out that they couldn't charge as much, right? Because Google charges by actual clicks, for example, and media companies prefer to get paid by impressions. Makes sense. And that's the old model, right? In the newspaper, you can say this many people are looking at the ad, and that's the cost. There were no clicks, right? And even print magazines. And then to be totally transparent about it, we also had that shift, right? We had people who grew up in the world where you could charge way higher rates for ads because you couldn't tell if they were working or not. And then, of course, it's very hard to take, let's call it quite the pay cut, right? So just something to keep in mind on that. That is actually a problem, or has been at least. Of course, the newer generation of people growing up in advertising, that's just kind of how it is, right? Like if I didn't know the past, I wouldn't go, oh, I made $100 on Google AdSense and on 30,000 views or something like that, for example. Like a traditional print salesperson for ads would be like charging a lot more for that. So that's just something to keep in mind. Advertising is also kind of a slow grind, and you do need a lot of eyeballs to make that work. Also, the trick is, in my opinion, like it's okay to have ads, but don't overdo it. And if you're a company, I know we moved from number one to number two and number three here of the 5 steps. But if you're a company, like, don't put ads on your website. Like, if you're selling a service and then there is a totally unrelated Google ad, like it just looks crappy. And I know the numbers. You probably don't have that much traffic anyways because it's a niche area that ad is making you all that much money, right? Probably one customer will make up that entire ads revenue for the next 6 months or maybe even year, depending on how much traffic you actually have. So something to keep in mind on how that might work. But advertising certainly is an opportunity um, to make some revenue and to bump that up. The next one, sponsored posts and or sponsored content, right? And so the way I think of sponsored content is there's still a little bit of a guideline on how it needs to look, how it needs to work. So, for example, people can come on my podcast as a sponsored guest. The current rate for that is $299, which I think is super cheap. And so, if you want to become a sponsored guest, go to christophtrapp.com and reach out to me. Would love to have you on the show. Really appreciate everyone that wants to partner with me and support the business storytelling show. But what happens so let me talk about what you get for that. So you get a podcast appearance just like this, 24 minutes, goes on all the different channels. It's just like a regular show. At the beginning, we have a little bug up that says includes paid promotion. In the notes, it says thanks to whatever the company is for supporting today's episode. And that's basically it. The rest of the show is basically the same thing as always, right? We're talking about the topic. I ask questions that I think are interesting that you guys want to know. So it's like the content still needs to be at a certain level. It can't just be like a pitch, like how we had that Opus clip earlier. That's an ad. Like, it's an ad. I know it's an ad. But who wants to listen to an ad for 24 minutes? Like, nobody. So it still needs to be relevant, still needs to be interesting. And then for that $2.99, I also actually use, I turn that into a quick article over on the website. And the way I do that is, highlighting it up here if you want to scan it, Otter AI. So I take all my episodes, put them into Otter AI, and then basically transcribe them automatically in there. And then I put them into Claude AI and ask Claude to give me a quick article draft. You still have to update it. It still takes a little bit of work. But at the end of the day, it's a super quick process. I mean, I really I really like how to do that. So my point is that's one reason why I can have that be a little bit lower, because I'm not spending 12 hours writing an article, but I'm still offering my expertise. So it's still a super reasonable rate. But you have to figure out what's the rate you want to go for. My recommendation would be that I would not do any work for free product. Now, if Apple were to call and say, you want to get our new iPhone for a video, yes, easy deal, right? Like, you don't even have to convince me. Send it on over. Like, you don't even have to ask me. Just send me the new iPhone. I'll do a video. But that's not the reality. Most of the people that reach out, they're not like a known product, right? They're like a startup, or there's some company that has like 12,000 products or something like that. And then I'm expected to look through the list and say, oh, here's what I like. And I'm like, I don't know what I like because I don't even know you, right? I don't know what product might be of interest or might be useful to me. So my point is, so when you enter into a deal with companies like that, it's going to take you time. And if it's a crappy product, it's still going to take you time. And they still expect a video. And you can do videos. Like in those cases, you probably can do a negative video. But this is my funny story. I do affiliate marketing on Amazon, and I do product review videos. And there's times like I actually, staying with the Apple Watch, I actually said in my Apple Watch edition, ninth edition video that It's just like the last edition, the last version. So no need to upgrade, even though I did. And people still buy it. Like, and I've done other reviews where I'm like, this product is crap. Not the Apple Watch, but another product. And guess what? People still buy it. It makes no sense to me. It's so interesting that that people do that. So we have covered advertising, we've covered affiliate marketing, we've covered sponsored posts. Make sure you let people know what the rules are. If you have sponsored posts on your website, make sure you call them out appropriately. I change it to submitted article as the byline, and also have a thing on there saying this is a submitted post. So easy breezy. Always run it through Grammarly to make sure that it's actually not just ripped off another website. If you have anything over 10% for plagiarism issues, that should be a concern. The last one, really briefly, subscriptions. I think subscriptions are getting harder and harder. Like, everybody's creating content. Do I really need to pay for certain types of content? Is it really worth it? I know for podcasts, people, all these different networks are rolling out or have rolled out podcast subscriptions, but do people really want to pay for that? And are they going to? And what's the right price? It just, like, how much money do people have to pay for individual creators? So I guess if the price is right, it might work. But on my website, I don't really use this model. Like, there's a way I can set up a subscription email, right? So only subscribers get certain emails. Some video creators, they put their episodes or their video stories, or whatever you want to call it, on a different platform first. I can't remember the name of it now. And again, it's not super expensive in if you just look at it in a vacuum, but big picture, it all adds up. And but then they publish it on YouTube later too. So it's like, why do I need it right now? Like, I can just wait until then, or like, I'm getting the gist of it. I don't need to actually go any deeper into this content. Like, I got it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like if you read the cliff notes of a book and you got it, you learn something from it. A business book, maybe not a fiction book. That might be different. Why do I have to read the book? Like, a lot of business books, I skim anyways, because there's certain things in there that are useful to me, but it's not everything is useful to me, right? So it's just something to keep in mind on what's worth paying for with actual money and what's worth paying for with your data, right? So a lot of creators, they want to build their audience so they can drive affiliate marketing, they can drive advertising, they can drive brand deals. So, like, they're kind of selling you to an extent as the audience, right? While in the first step that I mentioned, the first tip, a company is not selling the audience. A company wants to sell to the audience, if that makes sense. So, but from some of these things, the bigger your audience, the easier it is to sell stuff, to make affiliate marketing work. Of course, you have to have great content, like the end. You can't create stuff that is not useful, that's not relevant, and that's just overly salesy. So those are my tips on how to make money through your website. Christoph Trapp, I'm out.
Thanks for tuning in. Please rate and review the Business Storytelling Show on your favorite podcast platform, and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. See you then.